Lost.
Welcome back to another episode of the Casey Campbell podcast. Casey Campbell with you, of course. Pleased to be joined by Jeroen Bleekemolen of one of the drivers of the number 92 for Kelly Moss, Riley Motorsports in the GTD category. How's it going?
Yeah, good. Yeah, looking forward to it. It's going to be another exciting one. Daytona is always special. So, yeah, can't wait to be back.
You've talked about you've been in this race for going on. I'm not sure how many times that you've been in this for a while. What's it just like to go down to Daytona and just be a part of this Rolex?
Well, it's always one of the special races you want to do. It's one of the big endurance races in the world. You've got Le Mans, you've got Sebring, you've got Daytona, but it's like one of the top races you want to be involved with. But then also it's a nice mixture of talented drivers. We've got a lot of IndyCar drivers, even Formula One drivers now joining the grid. So NASCAR drivers. So the whole mixture of drivers competing against each other is pretty special, I would say.
Yeah. Going in, I mean, obviously you're in the biggest class with GTD, lots of cars. What's it just like to be in this category? I know you've been in it. You've been in this category for a while. What's it like driving the GTD car?
Well, it's challenging, that's for sure. You've got all the faster cars passing you, and at the same time you're fighting for your own position. And usually we're the biggest class. Same again this year, and so the competition is big. It's not easy to make it to the end without issues, but then at the same time, if you make it to the end without issues, it's going to be a fight of 10, 12, maybe even more cars on the lead lap who are fighting for the win. So then it becomes suddenly a sprint race.
Yeah. So going into with this team, what's it going to be like? And talk about, and also who are your co-drivers?
Well, I mean, the whole deal is pretty cool for me because I'm back with Riley Motorsports, who I've been together with for more than 7 years, 8 seasons, I think, total. So that feels like family. Kelly Moss is the team behind it as well. I've been working with them also for around 10 years, I would say now, in their Cup program. So it's like one big family. It's great to be together with all of these people, and we have a goal. We want to win. I think we have a strong lineup, so we should be able to at least try to fight for it.
Yeah, so going into this race, what's hard like being in the car and what kind of when you're in the stint, just kind of talk about that. Like when you're what's your kind of like your the worst kind of stint to run or something in this race?
I don't think there is a worse one because it's always great to run at Daytona, no matter when you're in the car. But in the end, it comes down to the final couple of hours, which is always very exciting. Obviously, I hope to be in the car at the end and fight for it, which is a really hard fight. But then, if you can succeed, then the feeling is even better. And it's different to many other 24-hour races where you can get a lead early on and you can maintain it. But here, with all the yellows and the wave buys, you never know. It's coming down to the end. So being in the car at the end is the most exciting, I would say.
Yeah, for sure. Trying to manage everything when you're in the car as well as outside of the car. What's that like? Just making sure that you have something to eat, that you get enough rest, so that if you get that call at 3 a.m., it's like, all right, time to go in the car, that you're ready for it.
Yeah, no, it's always with 24-hour races. It's always tricky, when they wake you up in the middle of the night. You think, why am I doing this? Leave me alone. But once you go out of pit lane and you release the pit speed limiter, then you know why you did it. And then the feeling is back. So it's always a tough fight. It's a struggle. It takes a lot of energy, and at some points, you don't feel up for it. But in the end, you always do it. Daytona will be my 70 24-hour race, more or less. I've done more over 70, so I know how it works. But every time it's a struggle, which makes it even more special, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, obviously it's like, people have been, doing this long. You mentioned this. This is your 17th Rolex. What's that like been coming here all these years? What's it just what's been the toughest race or out of all those years, and biggest success, the biggest great memories that you've had at Rolex?
I've had many good years. I think pretty much every year was a good memory. Unfortunately, I've never won it. I've been very close a couple of times. We've had one time a red flag, which came basically 1 minute too late because we were leading and my teammate spun out of the race in very wet conditions. I've had a big lead and then the engine blew up. So I could have, maybe should have had some wins there, but it never worked out. So hopefully one day the win will come, because I think putting Daytona on your resume is one of the main ones. I've won Le Mans, I've won Nürburgring 24 hours, I've won Dubai 24 hours, Sebring, but this one is still missing. So it's really the one that I want to get.
All right. I've asked everybody that I've had on about this, but what's it going to take to win the Rolex 24?
Well, you got to stay out of trouble first, let's say for the first 12 hours. And then after that, you got to really go after it, really push hard. And especially the last 6 hours, then it's coming down to a sprint race. And the car has to be in good shape. The driver has to be in good shape. And then we can fight for it. But I think we're up for it. There's a lot of competition, so it won't be easy. But we're definitely one of the contenders.
All right. Well, Jeroen, thank you so much for coming on and talking with us, and best of luck in the Rolex 24 at Daytona.
Thank you.